guys, it's me, Gayle MacBride. I'm one half of Veritas Views. Am I the Asshole Edition? I am here to let you know, guys, we're not going to be those assholes, I promise. We are going on a season break, but assholes would give you the best of. Not assholes are going to give you the least loved episodes. These are episodes we think you might have missed. They're little gems. So just heads up, you're going to hear one of those today. It might be one that you missed. Give it a listen. Let us know what you think. Season 1 has ended on episode 44. We're going to be back in 2025 with some new ideas and new concepts and a whole new season. So join us again after 5 encore episodes and have a wonderful 2025. Michael, tell us what today's episode is all about.
Our first encore episode is episode 7, which is, Am I an asshole for refusing to let my fiancé smash cake in my face at our wedding? So if you listened to it before, awesome. If this is your first time, we hope you enjoy it. Please let us know what you think. Drop us a message in the mailbag. Let us know what you're thinking, and we'll definitely get around to answering those. See you in 2025.
Well, hey there. You've stumbled upon the intersection of internet quandaries and psychological insight. Welcome to Veritas Views on AITA, where the quirks of the internet meet the expertise of Veritas Psychology Partners.
Prepare to embark on a journey into the human psyche with our dynamic duo.
I'd like to introduce my friend, colleague, and business partner, whose intellect is only matched by his wit, Dr. Daniel Kessler.
And when I need a thoughtful voice of reason with a deep understanding of all things psychological, I go to Dr. MacBride for answers, which is why I'm happy to introduce her here as my partner in Veritas and in this podcast. Gayle, I am looking forward to your insights.
If you've never visited Reddit, you might not know what Am the Asshole is. In short, someone posts a scenario and asks readers, who's the asshole here? Dan and Gayle, neither of you have read this or seen it before, so let's go. Am I the asshole for refusing my fiancé to smash cake in my face at our wedding? So that's the setup.
I'm just going to interrupt you here and say no.
Wait.
We're not even going to. We can listen to it. Let's listen to it.
Listen to it.
But I'm already on board with no. You're not the asshole for not wanting your partner to smash cake in your face. That's just my preconceived notion.
And our lovely host has already been subject to my opinions on this matter.
I'm biased. I don't think that's cool. All right. We should listen now.
Okay, here we go. I absolutely.
In all seriousness, like that is a big part of what we do in our office is take a moment to pause and listen to the story because I wonder if there's more to it. All right, I'm going to shut up now, Michael.
All right. I absolutely love my fiance. We've been together for over 5 years, own a home together, have 2 dogs, and live a happy life. We have had a rocky relationship at times and are definitely not perfect. He is the oldest of 2 brothers, and sometimes when we get playful, he will take it just a tad too far and maybe push me a little too hard or tickle me until I'm frustrated. Things like that. As we started planning our wedding, he off the bat talked about how excited he was to put cake in my face. I was a little apprehensive about this, but he seemed so excited. I'm not having makeup professionally done, and I figured it is a moment of the day, so I said, sure. As time has gone on, I've seen TikTok tragedies over cake in the face at weddings, and I've begun to get worried. With the way he is, I'm worried he might take it a little too far. When I started to feel this way, I talked to him and told him I would want to practice beforehand, to which he seemed a little frustrated about it, but said he understood.
I thought he would have relished this opportunity.
He promised he wouldn't get it in my hair or on my dress, but really, how can you control cake once you smashed it in my face?
Cake.
I have kept trying to get him to practice, and he never wants to. He will do it without the cake, but never wants to practice with cake or whipped cream because he doesn't want it to be sticky, like I would be at the wedding, I guess. Anyway, every time we do it without cake, I swear he'll touch my hair, to which I call him out on. He started talking about the topic with my dad, and I mentioned I really didn't want to do it unless we practiced. Once again, he did it without anything and touched my hair. I called him out, and my dad said, we have whipped cream, so why not try it? I said, please be careful. Don't get it in my hair or my clothes. I showed him where I was okay with it going on my face and where he wanted to do it. He put way too much on, and I told him that's even too much. And then he smashed the rest of my face anyway. I guess I moved and it got all over my hair, eyebrows, and onto my clothes. I immediately started crying and ran to the bathroom. He came in and apologized and cleaned me up and said, I'm sorry, you just moved and I got it on you. He was nice and helped me clean up, but ultimately I was frustrated and said, we're absolutely not doing this at the wedding if you can't control yourself now. I said we'll see if we do it, if we practice properly, but not like we did recently. As of now, my answer is a hard no. Am I the asshole for changing my mind and rejecting my fiance's desire to smash cake in my face?
Not your wedding dance. We're not choreographing this. The idea of the smashing of the cake was it was cute and spontaneous, and it's not something that you can rehearse. And even if you rehearsed 100 times with whipped cream, there's no guarantee on that day it's going to look the same. What is going on with this scenario? It just seems to unravel with every detail.
Yeah, the whole thing's awful. I'm sorry to say, the whole thing's awful. I mean, here's the thing, though. I mean, even if they were to practice this perfectly, the reality is that the wedding is an incredibly emotional time. People are cheering, you're cutting cake, you've maybe had a few beverages. This is really not the time to be risking something that could really be problematic. And I mean, the bigger issue here, I'm just going to jump in, Gail, because I know you're going to jump on this one too.
I wonder if you're in the same direction I am. My biggest problem with this.
Holy shit, boundaries.
Consent.
Yeah, exactly.
Consent and boundaries. Oh my God, she said no.
No, she has. I mean, I think it is absolutely critical for relationships to be based in a sense of being able to trust each other,
Feeling of safety,
and that and be safe, and that means that that things have to be consented to, and consent. Consent can't just be okay. That's not consent. Consent for anything in a relationship should be enthusiastic. If it's not enthusiastic, it's not consent. If it's okay, I'm willing to do this even though I don't like it, that's not really consent.
That's not consent at all. That's not really consent. No. That's like coercion, which is
it is. And there is a real air of coercion in this whole interaction here. It's clear that there are times when he violates her boundaries in ways that make her uncomfortable, and she's spoken up about it, but that isn't being respected here. And I
actually, as much as I can agree with that, she's violating her own boundaries. There is this sort of this sociocultural phenomenon here where especially women have to feel like they need to go along, be easy, kind of suck it up. And they will be willing to pass by their own boundaries in an effort to conform to these other expectations it's really dangerous. So yes, he's violating boundaries. She's passing by her own boundaries too.
Yeah, I'm viewing this from the male perspective and going, dude, what?
Right.
Why would you want to do this thing that your partner, your life partner, obviously is uncomfortable with, and she's not going to find it funny, and this I've seen enough of these sorts of things go wrong, as she talked about in the setup here. There's a real opportunity here for this to be a real unpleasant moment in an otherwise what should be a wonderful day, and to start out their marriage together with one of the first opportunities for consent and boundaries as a married couple, for him to not be willing to go along with that, and then perhaps in the moment to have this really be potentially disastrous because he's not willing to go along with this. I'm really troubled by where he's coming from here. I get what you're saying. I don't know that I feel comfortable saying, oh, you should stand up. I don't want to blame her. But I'm really annoyed with him right now.
I'm not blaming her. Okay, I'm actually,
fair.
This is really much more about pressures that women succumb to from a social political perspective. This is not a victim blame. This is, hey, women and men, but we should all be aware of the boxes that we get put into and how we behave and perform according to the expectations of those boxes. That's our responsibility.
No, I know you're totally not. I know you're totally not blaming her. I think
No.
I think I would worry that if I said, hey, she needs to set the limit here, that it would feel too much like the dude
Oh, absolutely.
blaming her. And
Absolutely.
I don't want to go down that
And
path.
it feels like she tried to set a limit, right? And so we
Right.
definitely want to respect that. And I would love for him to really attune to what his partner is saying and really hear that she is reluctant at best and wanting to rehearse this, which is really her soft no. And to be a really, I think, caring and in tune partner, he needs to start learning for her soft no's as she learns to vocalize no in a louder, more kind of firm way. I'd love to see both of them kind of coming together a little bit more around their different communication patterns, who they are as individuals, and who they are going to be in this marriage, right? I mean, they're already in a relationship, so I don't, the piece of paper in the ceremony isn't really going to change that, right? That organism of who they are in this relationship as two entities coming together has already been brought into the world. I'd love to see them work on this as their area of growth as a couple. You don't get it right the first time, but growing together over 5 years, you hear this. You're going to disagree with me.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Actually, I want to. I'm all like jumping in here because I want to
Yeah.
scroll back to something you said about a minute ago.
Oh, okay.
Where you said that this is her soft no.
Mhm.
And I do think that's a really critical thing for couples to be aware of. Sometimes we know something is important to our partner and we're not comfortable with it and we want to say no, but we don't want to be the bad guy.
Or hurt our partner's feelings.
Or her partner's feelings, right.
Mhm.
And so the soft no is offered.
Yeah.
And I think especially for women, that's more likely she's more likely to come up with a soft no. And he needs to, as part of their relationship, for making their relationship strong, he needs to be on the lookout for the soft no.
Yeah.
Because if she's offering a soft no, and he can hear that and accept it as a hard no, or translate that, my partner really isn't into this. Like, this is not what she wants to do. And even though she's offering it as a soft no to validate it and say, okay, this clearly isn't something you want. Can we just put the brakes on here?
Right.
And I want to respect that. Like, that's amazing for the relationship and empowers her to be more clear with her no, and really recognizes like it part of that being in tune with your partner.
Right. And what he may find that he gets in the long run are more enthusiastic yeses when she can trust and feel safe to offer the soft no's and then lean into clearly what seems to be his sense of adventure and play and fun. And I love that he has adventure, play, and fun in the relationship because that is critical to the health of the relationship. So he's clearly carrying that thread through. And he can get more from her, and she may soften up and liven up a little bit if he's a little bit more in tune to the soft nose.
I love what you said there, because what you're saying is if he, I'm just going to repeat it because it was
go
good,
for it.
and I'm going to like make it my own. So whatever.
Yeah.
But just this idea that like if she feels safe saying no, she feels safe that her boundaries are going to be respected. She's more likely to, in the moment of like, is this a yes or no go? You know what? He's going to respect my boundaries. He's going to pull up if I ever say this is not okay. So I'm going to go forward because I know I can trust him.
Yeah.
But if I don't think I can trust him, I'm going to put a hard stop to it.
Yeah.
And
so I think there's a dynamic through the relationship.
Yeah.
But the thing that, that they're writing about, and I'm going to go back to what you said, I don't even know, 15 minutes ago, is this is an incredibly special day. And I am concerned that they're trying to choreograph something like crumbly cake, sticky frosting, hairdos that have even been, even if she didn't hire anyone to do it and she did it herself, these are her pictures. This is her special day. And so while we've got a soft no on the table, we really need to be listening to this in this day that she has likely worked probably a year or more to plan. This is not the place to blow by this soft no.
And I was going to say, and this may not be popular, I apologize maybe I don't want to apologize. I'm just not a fan of the cake in the face thing anyway.
I agree. I mean, we had a discussion before our wedding, and luckily we were on the same page. Like, no, why would you do that?
It doesn't feel loving.
And, good cake.
It doesn't feel loving and caring to me. And I know that couples do it playfully, and I put that in air quotes. But it just doesn't. it just doesn't feel warm and happy to me. It feels kind of, I'm just going to say this, it feels kind of gross to me
Yeah.
when I see it. And I don't apologize for judging anyone out there who had the cake in the face and loved it. It just, to me, it's a moment of, and I'm aggression even, that just feels out of place at a wedding.
Mhm.
And maybe people disagree. But I've never, when I go to weddings and they're doing the cake, I'm always like, please don't, please don't, please don't, please don't, please. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, whew, all right.
Occasionally you see someone take the frosting and like boop on the nose or something, which feels a little less aggressive, but still, like I can't get over it. Just the sticky on the face. Like,
Yeah,
no,
I wouldn't be happy
not a fan.
either way on that one. So I'm just, to me, the whole thing is a hard no. But I think really crucial to this is the conversation of the two of them around
Right.
boundaries, safety, and consent.
Right. No, I mean, clearly you and I wouldn't want this at our weddings, but for those who do, then it does have to be about, being enthusiastically ready and in agreement. This is how we want to navigate this piece of our evening and our day together.
And like anything else that where there's an opinion, there may be a couple out there who like, they both love this idea and they
I'm sure there is.
wait to do it. And you know what? If you're both on board and you think it's terrific, great.
Well, it's an extension for me of the thing that like it's just gets me a little heebie-jeebie is the 1-year-old smash cake, right? Even though this child is smashing it themselves and them, it's everywhere. Like what is with our obsession of smashing cake and putting it in hair and clothing and places it shouldn't be?
Okay, the 1-year-old smash cake is adorable. I'm gonna respectfully disagree with you on that one. I think the 1-year-old smash cake, when they stick their hands in,
carry the child to the bath, and you get cake all over the floor between the kitchen and the bathroom, and then you have the next take, which is the 40-year-old who puts on the dress and does a smash cake photo shoot. What is with our obsession with smashing cake?
I haven't even seen that one. That one's.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, you must not be over a 40-year-old female.
Okay, I'm gonna reel you guys in here really quick. Right, so, if I may, it seems like you are both squarely on the side of not the asshole, and there's definitely relationship work to do as well.
I feel like he's. I'm not willing to call him an asshole, but I'm not real happy with him right now for being so. Maybe I am willing to call him an asshole. He's being really insistent about something that his wife's not okay with.
I am struggling a little bit because I really want her to stop making these false runs at something she doesn't want. She keeps making these offers and they're not genuine. She needs to stop making disingenuous offers and stick with what she wants and let her opinion rest and ride right there and just be clearer with him. It's not that she's an asshole for saying no, but I really want to see, and I don't know that she's an asshole, but I want to see her be more clear in her communication with her partner. And I want him to understand and hear that softer no and start respecting that and treating her with the tenderness that she's requesting of him.
Perfect. Couldn't say it better.
And I'll say, Reddit, for the most part, was 100% on board with you. Like the overwhelming response was not the asshole. In fact, many of them were like, this is a major red flag. You should be concerned about starting a relation, beginning a marriage with this as being a thing. The few people who kind of waffled, that were more on the fence, it seemed like they were projecting themselves into the scenario where they were saying, well, like marriage, the woman gets all she wants in the wedding. And like, this is the one thing he wants. And it's like, she doesn't say that in there at all. Like, it's clear he wants this thing, but it doesn't say he's not involved in the rest of the process.
Well, and the argument doesn't hold up. Like, if it's the one thing he wants and it violates a boundary she's not comfortable with, use your imagination. Like, it doesn't make it okay.
No, when I hear a man say the woman gets everything she wants at the wedding, that just feels, I'm just going to call it out. That just feels misogynistic to me. I think it's more likely that, I should go by my own experience and not put all men in the same category. I just wanted to know what time to show up and what I should wear. And it's not that anyone else got what they wanted. It's that I just really
And my
didn't.
spouse actually had opinions about colors and cake. And so he showed up and he had those opinions and expressed them. And sometimes we want my idea.
I showed up, but
Your idea.
I don't have a lot of strong opinions about those kinds of things. So,
Right.
but I certainly wouldn't be like, well, she got to pick whatever. That just, I'm not okay with that. That just feels icky and gross too. So whoever said that, I feel icky and gross about that as well.
Nope.
Yeah, no, it's a collaboration. And sometimes the collaboration is we both want to decide the colors. Sometimes the collaboration is, you know what, I'm okay with whatever you pick. Now it's problematic if she wants his input and he's not giving it, but that's another podcast.
Or if he wants to have input and doesn't feel as though he can give it.
Right. And that's another discussion. If he doesn't
Absolutely.
like he's had an input into things at the wedding, then that's something he should be saying to her. Like, I'd really like to have a say in some things around this if he doesn't feel like he's getting it.
Right.
But this idea that only the woman gets a say, no.
Especially not in this day and age.
No.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for another riveting debate and a glimpse into the collective conscience of Reddit. Remember, morality is often shades of gray and not just black and white.
Truth can be stranger than fiction. Remember to stay true and stay strange.
And we've got another podcast coming up next week. So tune in then for more of this back and forth.
Stick around through the credits for the bonus conversation about the seemingly random items in the therapist's offices and the stories behind the objects.
You can follow Dr. Dan Kessler at Dr. Dan Kessler and Dr. Gayle MacBride at Dr. G. MacBride. Oh, and you can find them both at veritaspp.com. Credits. Tickling the Ivories, Matthew Reddington. Art, production, and design, bringing this show together with flair and finesse, Michelle Love. Recording and editing, turning chaos into something worth sharing, Michael McBride. Intro, outro, I'm Kelly Buttrick, a VO talent who just happens to be Dr. McBride's cousin. Cats, CJ, Linus, Sadie, and Griffin. Hosting by whomever lost the coin flip. Interruptions by all their children. The content of this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional mental health advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Listening to this podcast does not constitute a therapist-client relationship. If you believe you may be experiencing a mental health issue, please seek the assistance of a qualified mental health professional. If you are experiencing a mental health crisis, you can call or text 988 from anywhere in the U.S. to be connected to Crisis Mental Health Services.
Thanks for listening. As promised, here's the bonus conversation.
So, Dan, years ago, we started working together, and I can't remember how soon into that relationship, but I noticed in your office, you had a pack of peacock feathers. Tell the story.
Well, I mean, I did this training. I'll give credit to, I don't remember who the training is, so I'm not going to give credit. But if you and it works best as a demonstration. But if you hold a peacock feather out and you try to balance it on your finger, and you look at the tip of your finger, it falls down. But if you look at the tip of the feather up high, somehow your brain just like automatically does the calculation and allows you to balance that feather with incredible ease. And I use that with folks. Sometimes the demonstration on how simply changing your perspective, looking at a slightly different spot, maybe just a foot or two away, changes the difficulty or ease with which we can do something. So I have those feathers there.
I love it.
Yeah.
Great demonstration.
Yeah. To try it with peacock feather if you got one.
Yeah, but it doesn't work with other feathers. It's only peacock feather.
Got a peacock. Got to be long.
Yes.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks so much. We'll see you guys next week.
Next time.
Thanks so much. Bye.
We love hearing from you, so please review us on Apple, Spotify, or, well, wherever you're listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please review, like, and follow. Also, give it a share. This helps us reach more listeners.